Good morning, students. Today we will be continuing with History, Chapter 6, The Dawn of Modern Culture in Europe and India, Part 3. In this chapter, we have discussed about the beginning of modern culture in the 14th century. This beginning brought changes in almost all aspects of life like trade and urbanization, spread of knowledge, new thinking, etc. Along with these changes, one other change in India and several other countries was the flowering of the creative arts. The most visible impact of this new wave of creativity was seen in architecture, such as the use of domes and arches. In India, the use of domes and arches made a very attractive mix with elements of temple architecture in the early modern period. As a result of this fusion, a new and transformed Indian architecture took shape during this period, which both Hindu and Muslim rulers adopted. We can see examples of this architectural form in India in the Lotus Mahal of Vijayanagar. The domes and arches of the Taj Mahal beautifully incorporate Indian designs and engraving. In Europe, the style they adopted was developed by Islamic architecture when Michelangelo designed the St. Peter's Cathedral in 1547 CE. He took inspiration from Greek temples and Islamic domes. This architectural style, in which tall Greek columns, arches, and domes are used, is called the classical style. It continues to be used even today. Another changes was seen in painting and sculpture. In Europe, painting had limited scope, restricted to biblical figures, which began changing towards the end of the 13th century. The artists began painting based on their observation of real humans. Their paintings also became more realistic as they began depicting perfect replicas of what they saw. One famous example is seen in the painting from artist Raphael. We can distinguish close from far by seeing small human figures in the distance while the figures in the foreground are bigger. This gives an idea of geometric proportion. Another technique emerged from science, which was developing rapidly during this period. Artists now study human anatomy to perfect their human figures. The most famous among them was Leonardo da Vinci. He was a scientist, sculptor, architect, inventor, and painter. His most widely discussed painting is the Mona Lisa. Michelangelo is also counted among the most prominent artists in world history. He was a good sculptor as he was a painter. He used Italy's white marble to sculpt extraordinary figures. Take a look at the most famous among them, La Pieta. The portrayal of the human body, emotions, and even clothes is realistic. Now let us move on to early modern painting in India. Traditional Indian painters who were skilled in using a wide range of bright colors in their paintings worked with the Iranian artists, and together they produced a really wonderful new tradition of painting called Mughal miniature painting. This is a painting done by Miskin. This painting depicts a scene from the Mahabharata. Sri Krishna is seen lifting the Govardhana hill. Now next, the painting was done by a painter called Bichitra around 1620. It is a symbolic painting that depicts the emperor's spiritual leanings. The most prominent change that happened during this period was the scientific revolution. Theism, the belief in God, dominated thinking in Europe and India during the Middle Ages. The theists preached that God is the ultimate truth and the all powerful who created the universe. There was no place for studying the physical world in such thinking, but this does not mean there was no science. The philosopher studied and translated the work of Chinese scientists and Indian mathematicians. They also adopted inventions such as gunpowder, block printing, and magnets. They also used magnetic compasses. The telescope with glass lens had just been invented. In those days, cannons were used widely in war. All this involved scientific study. That's why kings and merchants showed special interest in science and its investigation. Another area of study was the geometry. In addition, there was the observation based astronomy. The widely accepted belief during the Middle Ages was that the earth was the center of the universe and all the stars, sun, moon, and planets orbited around it. That is geocentric theory. People in those days also believed that the earth was flat and that we will fall down if we went to its edge. The most prominent Polish astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus said that it is the sun, not the earth, that is at the center of the universe and that all the planets, including the earth, revolved around it. This heliocentric theory of Copernicus was quite revolutionary for his time. People were not ready to accept that the earth, which appeared stationary to them, could actually be orbiting the sun. However, many astronomers investigated Copernicus' theory. Another astronomer, Johannes Kepler, found out that Copernicus had erred in one respect. He said the earth followed a circular path while orbiting the sun. Kepler's calculation showed the orbital path followed by the earth wasn't circular but elliptical. Italian scientist Galileo Galilei found that planets like Jupiter and Saturn had several moons orbiting around them. The English scientist Isaac Newton proposed his famous theory of gravity and the motion of astronomical bodies on the basis of the discoveries of Kepler and Galileo. We have seen how a new science was born in the early modern era after being freed from the bonds of religious misconceptions. This new science was not based on old assumptions but upon experiments and mathematical proofs. And this is the end of chapter 6. Come up with your queries. Complete the homework which will be followed by this video. Thank you and have an energetic day.